So what can you tell us about what's coming up for your characters? What are you allowed to tell us?
For our characters.
Well, what are we allowed to say?
Any more car fixing going to be happening?
No more sleepless car fixing, unfortunately, but season 2.
Yeah, we don't see Bruce again.
We don't.
Or Bruce.
Yeah, so...
yeah, no more uninvited car fixing.
There's some more blossoming going on between our characters. There's a really cool school dance. And we had a really nice moment there.
It just continues to grow, and then there's some turmoil, there's some back and forth, and you're not sure if they're going to wind up happening or not. But it goes down that path. It's hard for Eric to get out of his own way. He's a dickhead.
But if anyone's going to pull him out of that, it's Julia.
Absolutely.
Miss Optimistic,
love.
Ray of Sunshine.
You do crazy things for love.
Sure. Is Julie is she ready for a bad boy?
Well, I think with the blossoming of this relationship, the edge is kind of taken off of Mr. Eric, so I don't think he's necessarily... I think she penetrates the exterior and goes straight to like a little softy on the inside, so I don't think she's really dealing with a bad boy at all.
Well, it's like we discussed a little bit. It's funny because our characters never had any interaction in the first, 5 episodes or something like that. We didn't even have each other's phone numbers. We weren't on set together ever at the same time,
right.
And there was like a big group text, and I would be like, "Oh, that must be MJ, the number that I know now."
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of like because we discussed where they're so opposite and where did these feelings come from. But that's kind of the beauty of love in a way. Like, you don't understand why you feel the way you do sometimes, and you just kind of like, why am I?
And sometimes when you fall fast.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens with these two.
Do you think things might become rocky once they find out more things about each other's past?
Could be. I think Julia knows what she's getting into, and is kind of accepting of that. And they do start to learn a little bit more about each other's past as the season progresses. And Eric doesn't know sort of where Julia came from and how in the beginning of the story she was, on her deathbed, and that there is a reveal of that later in the season where he finds that out, and it's a nice moment. So yeah, I think that it can definitely change the dynamic.
So Julia's always been very interested in the Adrians, whereas Eric was always, a little skeptical of them. So you talk a little bit about going into the rest of the season, what the relationship is between each of your characters and the Adrians.
Right. Like you said, Julia is very pro-Adrians, very much on their side. She's willing to do whatever to fight for them. So that definitely shines in the rest of the season.
I was thinking about episode 10, which they're screening, and it's funny because Julia, the entire thing is Eric kind of following Julia around like a puppy, but wait a minute, what is this thing? And come back, what about us? And Julie's going through this harrowing, near death, and she's just like, I got bigger fish to fry right now.
Right.
And I'm following her please, 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 please.
Mm-hmm.
And she's almost gets killed.
Right.
And so...
to help the Adrians.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Eric's a softie, he's a romantic. He forgets about the Adrians at that point. He's just going after the girl. But she's, unfortunately,
my priorities are a little different.
So starting out, you have kind of a higher concept of aliens coming here, normal people dealing with. How much of your characters did you build, and how much of it was already present as you were kind of starting out with the scripts? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I just said.
I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, Julia started out definitely with her wide-eyed sense of wonder. Like I said, she's just a ray of sunshine. That definitely was present in the writing from the get. But as we go on, she definitely got more depth, and we peeled back more layers, and you started seeing her strength more than anything. So that's what I saw with Julia.
Yeah, and Eric starts as very one note, just a douchebag, and just as, he is very pro-segregation, and that to see that character evolve and be faced with Atrians and faced with aliens, and I think it's good and it's universal in terms of people and their prejudices, and a lot of times they just come from a place of ignorance, and it's fun to see how that can change.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.